We get loads of deer crossing over that side into the wood. Something's just cracked there. Oh no! Oh no! Disaster! Disaster! Right, well, hi everybody and welcome back to Lundy's Wild Camp Stroke Bushcraft. There's no big dramatic walk in the day. I'm in my local woods. I was here last weekend and I found a little area and I thought, could I build a natural shelter in this location? I thought, yeah, why not? Let's give it a go next time I'm out. So here I am. So what I'll do is I'll quickly take up the stand and I'll show you the little area where I'm thinking of. There's lots of little bits of material around, lots of bits of fallen tree, dead rotten wood and things, absolutely tons and tons of dead leaves. On the other side of the river there's some bits of dry grass. It's been quite dry for the last couple of days, so that's happy days, makes my life a lot easier. It's going to be a lovely day today. I think it's about 0 degrees when I come out. It's going to get up to about 3 or 4 degrees today. Possibly push over that barrier a little bit hopefully, and then drop back right down tonight, and tomorrow morning it's going to be a bit of a freeze, but we'll be snug as a bug by the time we get things sorted. I'm not using any tarps or any cordage or anything. It's just going to be natural materials, bits of wood and bits of leaf, and that's it. And let's have a look and see what I'm doing. Okay then, so when I was out last weekend I just come out for a little walk, no videos or anything, and I came across this little bit down at the bottom of the woods. I normally camp up the top end, but I came down here and I thought, oh, look at all this. Lots of bits of rotten tree everywhere, branches everywhere, there's loads of dead leaves all over the ground and everything, and I thought, oh, that's a nice little bit of an archway there. And then this is what prompted seeing this bit of wood over here like this, and I thought, oh, look at that gap down there. Little bit of work on the ground first, then start laying a roof over, and yeah, move this out the way, use this as part of the fire, part of the build. That'll be happy days, and I should be able to sleep underneath there, squeeze in on the night time in a bivvy bag, in a sleeping bag. It'll be hunky dunky dory, nice fire. So yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So I'm just going to get myself sorted, get my tools out my bag and that, get a bit of fluids down my neck, and we'll get grafting. It's now 10:10. Last light's about 4:45 or something now, so we've got all day. Get a nice shelter done, get some wood done, have some dinner, and then later on I'll be cooking a nice steak and potatoes and chilling out in front of the fire with a nice couple of Jack Daniels and Cokes. So feel free to stick along and I'll see you in a short while. First thing I need to do is I need to start preparing the ground, getting everything out the way. So what I do, all the bits of wood and that, I just hide them over at the side for now, because I'll probably neutralise them all. And all the leaves and everything. What I'm going to do is I use my hands, just get my nice little shovel out. We'll see what sort of lay of the land we've got underneath here. Obviously it's not going to be totally flat like. It's best to get rid of everything first, see what you're dealing with, and then because I've got a shovel I'll be dig some ground up, flatten it all out, and see what we've got. Obviously you see it comes a little bit of rise up here. Obviously because I've got roots there, so but that's not going to be a problem because I'll be lying that way and anyway, feet down this way. Enough room. That's the ground nearly sorted. And this bit down here can be where I can store my bag and everything out of the way. Down here, I might need to drop this tree off a bit, and that'll be it. Yeah, happy days. Ground looks nice and levelish, level enough for what I need for one night. So that's happy days like. So you can see there's no major lumps or bumps anywhere. So brilliant. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to get me roll mat out, because I just want to make sure that I've definitely got enough room on the ground for this. For me lying down. So rather than lying on the mud, get this down. Alright. Oh hey, that's going to be alright. It'll be a bit of a squeeze to get under, but I'm sure it'll be okay as long as I keep this quite high up to here. It should be more than enough room to sleep under. This is all safe enough. It's a little bit rotten there like, but yeah, should be sweet as a nut. Berging at the back of his, I'll block this back wall off. And yeah, things should be good. Things should be good. Right, that's that bit cut off. Now, let's need to organise this. I think I might get rid of this branch as well because it's getting in my way. Some of it's dead, some of it's alive. But it's like a hazel tree that sort of grew back. I think it's hazel anyway. So, cut it once, grow back twice next year. So what I need to start thinking about now is where I'm going to put my main slats for going across. Okay, because that's going to be my main support beams. And then what I'll do is I'll just start piling stuff on top of it, try and cover as much of it as possible before all this bits of stuff that I've got lying around here That'll make it nice and airtight as possible as you can, not using a tarp. And then it's just absolutely tons of leafage on top of it as well. There's plenty of room underneath there. Like, it's going to be a nice dry night in any way, so I'll probably just sit outside of the shelter up against something that I'll make later on for the fire. So that'll be ideal. And yeah, I'll stop waffling and just get on with it. Right, well, I've made a start on the shelter. I've put 3 beams going across. Some of them are quite chunky bits like, but they'll do the job for one night only, because it'll all be getting dismantled again tomorrow. But here we go, look. So the bit that I put on originally, I've got that wedged up against this tree here. Alright, so by the time I get other slats next to it, it's not going to budge at all. And I've just cut that end off. That'll get used for other things. And then the big bit I've just cut off from off the floor here. That's gone there, and that's up against that tree as well, so that's a nice wedge. And as you can see, that's giving us a lot of room in here. So obviously in the back there, I'll be able to put my burger in and everything. And I could possibly sleep in that little bit there, to be quite honest, like, and just have my head at the front. And I got this bit from over there. You've seen us chopping a little bit off, and that's got a nice curve on it as well, so it comes up nicely at the back. And then all I'll do is I'll just hoist some slats going across there to block that end off, and then just fill these up as I go. And yeah, we should be sweet as a nut. What I was thinking was, if I put a bit of wood going diagonally across from here to that one, and then stand some up against that, and then fill the roof over, it should be okay. But I've just got to, what I've got to do now is, I'm just going to do it off camera. I'm going to go and collect as much wood as I can, so I can start getting the roof actually done, and then start thinking about getting firewood prepped and things like that. The floor is nice and flat all the way from there to about here, and then it slopes down a bit. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my Bergen in there, and I'll just sleep with my head up this side, and it'll be nice and flat. And there's plenty of room underneath there, underneath the section I'm going to be sleeping under in any rate. So yeah, waffle, see you in a bit. It's got to be back out again, away. Right, well, that's me getting a canny bit of wood, and I've come up trumps with 2 decent bits as well, which will do for part of my framework. So I've got these here. You'll excuse the sniffles because I'm a bit snotty nosed. So I found these 2 bits here. They're not mega straight, but they'll do. Nothing's ever straight in these woods. So, but yeah, I should get enough bits off there to start my slats over here. So excuse me, I'm just walking around like a lunatic. So I'll start putting a few more slats along here and be a bit more sturdier as well. The reason why I've used these thicker ones is because they've got a bit more life in them than the smaller bits I've been finding. But as you can see, I've got lots of little bits and pieces here, and then I've got absolutely tons laying around here. Some big thick bits, they'll go up on the edge here and start blocking that main entrance off. And then I've got loads of little bits lying around which I can just lay on. It's not going to be pouring down with rain the night, but I'm sure I'll make it as watertight as possible by the time I'm finished. I think there's about an hour gone now, so it's just after 11 o'clock. I'm getting a bit sweaty, to be quite honest, taking all this graft, trying to find bits of wood and that. Now, I know there is some decent bits of wood over the other side of the stream there, like, so I might go over there and see if I can forage a few bits, seeing as the water's quite low down as well. But I'll process these other bits first, get them on, and let's see how it goes. There, so that's much better. Yeah, starting to get there now. Right, a few more slats here, there, and a couple in there, and then we should be ready to rock and roll. So I'll bring this back when I get all my slats in, and we'll get ready for the next process, which is laying all the other bits and pieces on top, just to give it that extra layer. Right, well, my apologies everybody. Typical Lundy fashion, I got carried away. Finding it a bit hard in here for angles for the camera as well, anyway, so, but not excuses. I've been starting to layer up the roof now. I'm just going to put yours up high so you can see, and yeah, I've still got a few gaps down at the bottom there to do. Okay, and then start leaning some stuff up against this side just to get that blocked off. And then, as you can see, it's covered quite well, like. Let's go underneath and have a look and see from underneath. So you've got plenty of room here underneath, still some gaps, like, as you can see, but them gaps will get filled up with loads of leaves on the top, and I've got plenty of room there for to lie in. It's just for to sleep in tonight, nothing else. Not going to be living in it, cooking it out. And then I've got that gap there, and I've got loads of big bits over there, so that'll get that bit filled in any rate. Yeah, so it's not looking too bad. Oh yeah, it's coming on sweet as a nut. Obviously I'm just using bits of rotten tree, things like that. I'm not going out and cutting loads of trees down to make a shelter. It's just stuff that's lying around on the ground, so it's not going to be a pretty shelter. It's just going to be a shelter that's going to keep me warm and dry tonight. That's it. Obviously I'm going to be in a sleeping bag and a bivvy bag as well, so I'm not going to be totally roughing it, like. And yeah, so the materials I've got left is these bits here. I think I might have to forage a few more bits, smash a few bits of these big bits up at the back here, and then get that gap filled up. It'd actually make a nice little doorway, that, actually, if I blocked the other end off. But I want a nice big long fire tonight to lie next to. So yeah, next step, it's now 10 to 12, so I'm going to get some more fluids down my neck. I brought about 4 litres of water, whereas the day, like, last time I come out I was just dead thirsty. So anyway, I'm going to get some water, I'm going to get some more wood, and then we'll start finishing off the last part of the build of the shelter before I start piling absolutely heaps and heaps of leaves on. It's not as if I haven't got enough in this area. As you can see, there's an abundance of it, especially over here. I'll get all this bit from the flat area first, and see where we'll go from there. Oh, trying to get a bit of a fluid down my neck, and I might get some dinner in the next hour. See you in a bit. Right, well, I thought I had pressed time lapse on my camera. Unfortunately I didn't. I pressed it off instead of putting it on, so I've lost a lot of footage of me actually doing the roof and the sides, so my apologies everybody. But I'll just show you quickly what it is. I'm gutted to have lost that bit of footage because it would have been good. So I've got this, the front side chart done. There's a few gaps, but they'll fill up when I put loads of leaves there. And then you've got the actual roof itself. I've got loads of beams going across, and then what I've done is I've just filled all the gaps with the bits and pieces of rotten wood, and then just layered it and layered it. So it's got a good layering of wood there now, coming all the way across. Obviously I've got a few bits sticking up here that's off the other side, which we'll just walk around. As you can see, all my bits of wood and all that have gone just about. Some of this wood's actually quite nice and dry, be great for firewood, but that'll be a future. So there you go, that's that big gap all filled, and then we'll just take it round the back. Got a sneaky wood prep from last week. But there you go. There's a couple of little gaps I can see, but like I say, it's not going to rain. I'm going to be in a bivvy bag in any rate, and if it does rain, there's going to be loads and loads of leaves on here in any rate. It's going to be like, it's going to be up to about here full of leaves. Okay, and then obviously, like I've just shown you there, that side there. So like I say, it's all just fallen rotten bits of wood to make a shelter with. So what we'll do is we'll walk back round, and I'll pick my axe up as I go, because I keep putting things down and forgetting where I've put them. So I'm trying to keep all my tools. I can't believe it. I think I've just seen some midges. Keep all my tools in one place, and then yeah, let's have a look. Aye, there's midges out. Bloody hell, midges already. So there you go. Absolutely bags of room under there. Yeah, storage room over the back there if I want it for me Bergen, because I'll be lying on this bit here. And as you look up onto the roof, you can see gaps, but when we pour the leaves on, I'll show you back underneath there, and it should be sweet. You can see all the logs and everything I've put over. And what I've done is I've put some logs going across over at the back there, give them a bit of a platform for the other bits that's against the tree there. So yeah, happy days. Oh, I'm going to get something to drink. I'm going to think about putting some noodles in some pilchards or something, or whatever I've got in my bag on. But as you can see, my Bergen's just hung up there off the ground and out of the way. And yeah, so I need to start sorting all my kit out. Then it's a case of getting my fire area sorted out. Well, obviously I've got to get the inner part of that out, get it all nice and clear, and get my ground sheet on. But I'll do all that after I've put all my leaves on, because obviously some of it is going to fall through the gaps. Then I'll get my area set up ready, and then do some wood prep. So once again, my apologies about not having any footage of actually doing the roof and the sides. GoPro 9s, it's either human error or the camera's error. So once again, sorry about that, but I'm sure there'll be plenty more footage. That's nearly the build done in any rate, so we're not doing too bad. 2 hours and 15 minutes. Yeah, happy days indeed, and it's a glorious day as well. And that's going to be my view tonight, and hopefully we'll get all the stars out again and have a nice night. Well, yeah, never really camped down this part of the woods before. We've just got the stream just down here. So it's not running that fast and it's not that high the day. So yeah, normally get loads of deer crossing over that side into the wood. Something's just cracked there. Oh no, disaster. The weight of that has just snapped there. Oh shit. That's not going to be safe to sleep under, is it? Bugger. I'm glad that's happened now. If not, it seems strong enough. So, oh god, I can't believe that. I might have to go to my alternative, which I'm glad I've brought. 2 minutes and I'll bring this back. Right, well, just as I was speaking to you, when I was over next to the river, I heard a crack and I seen some wood fall off me tree, off me shelter, and I've noticed this log has all split along this side here with the weight of all the branches and everything on it. And if I put more weight on there, I think it could fall on us during the night, and having all this dead wood, which is hardwood as well, coming down on top of us, I think it might be dangerous. So, oh, I'm gutted. I thought that tree was strong enough, but obviously it's too rotten. So, oh hey, I'm gutted. I'm not going to be able to sleep underneath that. I just didn't think it would be safe enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a little bit of extra weight on it with my body weight and see if it collapses. If it collapses, well, I can see it's come down about at least half a foot, so it could possibly just crash. So it looks like I might be going to my alternative camping arrangements, which I'm glad I've brought it, and do a different camp. But at least there's plenty of wood there for a fire, and I'm devastated. So let's have a look and see what would happen if I put some weight on. So it's cracked over this side here, so I'm going to stand on that bit there holding onto this thin branch and see if that comes down, and if it does, that's like 2.5 hours of work done for nothing, but it's been enjoyable. Right, well, here's my test to see if that is strong enough for tonight. I don't think it's going to be, and I don't think I'm going to risk it, but I'm going to stand on that side and I'm going to stand on that side and see if it collapses. And obviously what I've got to do is I've got to put loads of leaves on top of here to make it watertight. There you go, it's gone. Well, unfortunately, I won't be sleeping in that shelter tonight, will I? Because that is totally kaput, and I'm just glad that that has actually happened before I started setting my stuff up and sleeping in there tonight, because that would have been devastating, that, like, being trapped underneath that, possibly hurt. So the moral of the story is, check the stuff that you're going to be cutting under before you actually do. That was a lot of weight on there, by the way, all them big chunky bits of wood and everything, but I was using the materials that I was that was there. I didn't want to chop any trees down to make a shelter, because there's not enough trees in here to make shelters with in any weight. It's just a spur of the moment thing, but unfortunately it hasn't worked. So I'll be scavenging some of them bits of wood and using them for a fire tonight, and yeah, because I've got an alternative. Stay tuned, coming up in part 2. See you later. Well, that's that shelter dismantled now. I'll disperse the wood properly so it's not one big massive pile of wood. I'll use some of it later on for a fire tonight, which you'll see in part 2. And yeah, so obviously don't forget, safety is paramount when you're coming out and doing these things. Firstly, check your surrounding area, make sure it's safe, okay, and then check that the materials that you're going to be using, if you're going to be making a shelter underneath a fallen tree, make sure it's secure and it's safe. I went and I did this the other day when I came up. I was up and down, jumping up and down on it and everything, it didn't budge whatsoever. But obviously, as I've added weight onto it, it's put a bit of a stress on it, it's fractured, and then it's popped as I was walking away from it. So then what I've done is, as you can see on the video, I've jumped up and down on it and it's just totally collapsed. So I wasn't going to risk my safety of sleeping underneath it once I seen it collapse a slight little bit. If I had added more leaves onto it, obviously leaves are dead light, but obviously there's going to be a lot of damp leaves getting put on there. That would have added even more stress onto the actual fallen bit of limber, tree, sorry, and it could have come down right on top of us during the night when I was asleep, and that wouldn't be a good end to my camp for me. So I've dispersed it. I'll be using some for firewood, and I'll see you on the next part. See you later. Oh, happy days. Right, adios.